Welcome back to Sammy Strong On Deck Warrior Stories. The On Deck podcast is an extension of the Sammy Strong Foundation, which is a local nonprofit that works to give back to other kids and families fighting pediatric brain cancer and other organizations that help them fight. On Deck is a place where we share real stories behind pediatric brain cancer. We have incredible families that come on that want to share their stories and want to provide a little bit element of hope and connecting for other families. The On Deck is sponsored by Boys Town National Research Hospital, your trusted physicians for pediatric neurological care. And today's episode isn't just a story about diagnosis, it's truly a story about resilience. So let's walk up on deck. We are sitting down with Kara Ball. Kara, hello, how are you?
Hi there, I'm great.
Hello. Kara is the incredible mom of Reagan. Kara, thank you so much for taking time out of a crazy schedule I know that you have to come and share your story, your family story, Reagan's story. We met, gosh, how many years ago has it been? Which actually, technically, we've never met in real life. We've only met
Right.
on phone calls and Zooms and messages and everything. But we met, got connected
It's almost 4
4
years.
years? Yeah, 4 years ago. Yeah, that's
Yep.
wow. Wow. So 4 years ago,
hmm
and tell us, you're obviously not in the studio with us. Tell us where you're at.
So we live in Buffalo, New York, just not far from Niagara Falls. I think people know where Buffalo is, but we're on the
Mm-hmm.
western side. And it's
Yeah.
beautiful spring day here today.
Good. Yeah. No, we have a little bit of clouds, but we're moving in the right direction for that too. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so let's start with the time period. I don't know if you guys do the same, but we kind of measure our memories of before and after. So I want to start a little bit of before, and tell us a little bit about what was life like. What was some things that your family enjoyed doing, and tell us a little bit about your family
Sure.
before.
So I have 4 great kids. Reagan is the third, my youngest daughter, but my third of my 4.
Okay.
And they loved dancing, loved learning, loved school. Reagan was very into theater,
Mm-hmm.
um, competitive dance, reading. Just we called her the mayor. She knew everybody.
Everybody, yeah, yeah.
Everybody knew
That's really
her.
funny. That's what we call Sam sometimes too. Sammy is
I love
of
it.
the mayor. Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah. And so we were a super busy family. We're a blended family,
Mm-hmm.
so the kids spend time between my house and my ex-husband's house.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just before her diagnosis, it was competition season, dance
Mm-hmm.
recital season, and you would never have known anything was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan danced in 7 dances at the recital,
Oh my
assisted
gosh.
with little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we're talking fast tapping, fast
Mm-hmm.
moving. And I just remember thinking, wow, this is great. There's so much to come and so many more recitals and competitions, and
Mm-hmm.
just really had no idea what was coming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No idea.
Yeah. So you started with kind of like that, like the dance season and kind of the hustle bustle of that, like that. I mean, I have friends that have kids in dance season, or not season, but dance and competitive dance, and it's a it's a lifestyle, man. Like it's an incredibly, like, just really fun, intense, like, time, and just a lot of work and a lot of fun. And
hmm
I definitely have seen like the outside looking in of that. What what's something about Reagan that you would want people to know right away?
She has a big heart.
Mm-hmm.
She's very, very friendly and really cares about people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I again have not met Reagan in person, but just with her Facebook page and you and I talking, you can feel it. It's palpable for sure. So take us back when things did kind of start to feel off or starting to kind of recognize some things, or maybe we didn't and it was just this is what happened and we were in the hospital.
Yeah, no. Um, so it starts kind of funny because I've had bad headaches my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at a funeral, I think it was March of 2022. And I
Okay.
remember Reagan saying, I have a really bad headache. And she ended up getting sick. And we were at the funeral home. And
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, it's just a migraine. Just let's
Mm-hmm.
give her some medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't think anything of it
Mm-hmm.
because why
Why
would I
would
think it
you?
was a brain tumor? You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just a headache. And fast forward to June, as I told you, she was dancing.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching some of her dances, and her dance studio at their recital, they would do a large group, very elaborate Broadway style production.
Okay.
They would do it before and they would do it at the end. And it was usually the higher level competition kids that would be part of this. And I'm watching Reagan, and she's almost half a second off from the choreography.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, that's weird because I mean, all she's ever wanted to do her entire life is dance.
Mm-hmm.
And since she was 2 years old, and I'm thinking that's really weird. I mean, she's risen through and she's at the higher level. And why she did she just bump into a trash can? You know, I remember thinking
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
on stage. I'm like, what's happening? And it was around that same time that she started getting headaches
Okay.
and just nonstop headaches. Nothing was touching them. She would wake up feeling nauseous in the morning. And then as the day went on, it's the headache, I think, more or less stayed, but the nauseous feeling went away. And I work at a school,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember it was the first day of summer school. And she woke up, and I said, Reagan, how are you feeling today? And her response to me was, my head feels long soup. And I was like, your head feels long soup? And the first thing I thought was, oh my goodness, something is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
not normal. Let's just take her. Maybe it's just, a migraine for now 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just take. And in the meantime, I did have an appointment set with the neurologist to
Okay.
see if they could give her some. But getting in with a neurologist as a new patient is pretty tough.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Months
appointment
and
was out
months,
a couple weeks.
unfortunately. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. I think it took us about a month and a half waiting from the time I called. So I took her to the local children's emergency room in Buffalo and thought, we're just going to get some Zofran and some fluids and we'll be on our way. And I just remember her going, they said, well, we're going to take her for a scan. I'm like, okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
I got first day of summer school. I should probably be at work today, but
Mm-hmm.
we're fine. And I remember her laying on the bed and two ER doctors coming in, and her head was towards the wall, and they have a computer screen literally right next to her head. And they said, okay, mom, so look at this scan here. Zoom, zoom, zoom. This is her brain. Zoom, zoom, zoom. See this here? This shouldn't be here. This is a mass in her head. And
Oh wow.
I was
Okay.
just speechless.
Because Reagan
And
Reagan at this time is how old?
she was 14. She
Okay.
had just finished eighth grade and was getting ready to start high school.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the school her sister attended, and the school, when I tell you she waited 4 years to attend this high school, she counted down the days and she
Mm.
could not wait to start. And I just remember my whole world falling apart that moment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
school, dance, what is happening here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Reagan, is she going to be okay? What kind of mass is this? What?
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the hardest moments of my life.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's no manual, there's no textbook of how to respond or even your next steps. So how was that? How was that for you? How was that for your family, kind of processing through that
It
shift?
it was so hard. It was really hard. Um, she was taken immediately up to the PICU,
Okay.
and we spent 2 weeks in the pediatric intensive care unit
Okay.
at our local hospital. She was going through, I think she had no, it was 2 or 3 biopsies, because I think it was 2 biopsies. Um, the first one, she started bleeding and
Okay.
had a brain bleed while they were
Mm-hmm.
trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to wait a week and then go back in again and try.
Mm.
And meanwhile, I'm trying to just keep everyone else afloat,
Mm-hmm.
because it's what we do as moms. We just
Mm-hmm.
try to keep everyone floating.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had other kids at home. Um, I moved into the hospital, shared time between my husband, my ex-husband, and myself. Somebody was always there with her.
Mm-hmm.
But it, it was the most alone feeling, even though
Mm-hmm.
you're surrounded by people.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree, and I feel that in my bones. We have been blessed, and we've said so many times that we have an amazing support system, but there's still those times where you feel like you're on an island, and you don't really know what to do or say, and you're scared all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. There are, I was connected to some local organizations here in Buffalo, but um, you were one of the first people who reached out to me, and
Okay.
the support was what we needed, what I needed, what Reagan needed at the time. And that was just like the start of our journey. Our journey
Mm-hmm.
obviously gets crazier from there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she had a few more surgeries, brain surgeries. We were originally told that it was inoperable
Okay.
and chemotherapy was her only option.
Okay.
Now, Reagan's tumor was on her brainstem, and she was having hydrocephalus.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to have a surgery for that, to do
Mm-hmm.
an ETV to correct the hydrocephalus. Um, but we were told originally that there was no surgery, nothing could be done, just
Wow.
chemo,
Mm-hmm.
possibly radiation.
Mm-hmm.
And we started chemo right before, actually, I think it was right around the time that her freshman year in high school started.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And she had to miss a lot of school.
Mm-hmm.
We did about a month of chemo, and that's when I reached out to um, 2 different doctors to
Okay.
see if there was any chance of anything else
Mm-hmm.
being done other than
Mm-hmm.
chemo.
Because you do,
And
you just you. It, we talked about kind of not only the loneliness, but like there's nothing worse than seeing your child in it, not only in pain but in this situation, and there's nothing you can do to change it or to save it for or
Mhm.
make it better. And so you do, like, you go into, did we miss something? What's a second opinion? Is there new research? Is there different hospitals doing different things? Is there different doctors doing different things? Because it's just, it's so good to be informed, but it also, at least for me, it was like out of like sheer desperation, because there's nothing more or different that we could do.
Right. Yep. Yep. She was ultimately diagnosed with a pilocytic astrocytoma.
Yep, same as Sammy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And what we found when we reached out to Dr. Climo and to her doctor down in New York City,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to know if they said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go with, you know, two very different people, and they both came back and said, this is 100% removable.
Mm-hmm.
And if she had presented to us in the emergency room, we would have just taken it out. And
Wow. Yeah.
by that point, Reagan had had three surgeries,
Mm-hmm.
all going through her brainstem.
Mm-hmm.
So, right through the front of her head to the
Mm-hmm.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she's had headaches every single day since then,
Mm.
every single day.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
wakes up and has a headache. I don't know if I could handle that. Um,
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah.
and so, in that time, she not only has the headaches every day, but they put her on a heavy dose of steroid.
Okay.
And her first, like, 3 months, I would say, she gained 80 pounds.
Okay.
And that makes it kind of difficult to dance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she was also, I think she was dealing with just that until her major craniotomy in
Mm-hmm.
November. But
Mm-hmm.
it was tough.
Absolutely. Absolutely it was. I mean, that's it changes a lot of different aspects, and whether it should or not, but especially for 14, 15, 16, like it has an
Mm-hmm.
impact in another thing of how you see yourself, and how, like, and it yeah, it's just another layer of it. It just doesn't make sense. It's not fair.
Right. Yep. Um, I remember she started freshman year because she was so excited,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot changed
Mm-hmm.
because she was missing a lot of time for chemo. And we decided, once we got her second opinions done, which I believe happened around October,
Okay.
um, we decided we love Dr. Climo,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but my insurance made us stay in state.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they were not going to pay for it. So we stayed in New York and
Okay.
ended up at MSK down in New York.
Okay.
And um, she was there for 2 weeks. They did a craniotomy, took out what they believe is all of her tumor.
Okay.
She took a ambulance ride from New York City to Rochester, which is about 7, 8-ish hours,
Oh my gosh. Okay.
and spent another 3.5 weeks in acute inpatient rehab,
Okay.
where she learned to walk again,
Mm-hmm.
talk clearly
Mm-hmm.
feed herself, brush her
Mm-hmm.
hair, dress herself, because she wasn't able to do any of that when she woke up from surgery.
Okay.
Um,
My goodness.
and she's a dancer,
Mm-hmm.
and she hasn't been able to go back to that, to the way that she would like to do it,
Mm-hmm.
which has been really hard. Uh,
Yeah.
Basically, Reagan's entire being has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who she was
Mm-hmm.
before is not who she is now. I mean, deep down inside, she's still the same
Mm-hmm.
person, but so, so much like things that used to come easy to her,
Mm-hmm.
it seems to me that she really has to work harder at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Schoolwork
Mm-hmm.
has been a little more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Walking,
Mm-hmm.
she's got double vision, so she has to
Okay.
cover up one of her glasses so she can walk and not crash into things and not
Okay.
see two of everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
Yeah. And I mean there like obviously there's never a good time for this kind of diagnosis, but I I imagine of such those formative years of 14, 15, 16, like those high school years where like you don't really know like like we're trying on different personalities, we're trying out, and like in different things where those are kind of the years where you're trying to figure it out, trying to see like friends or likes, and hobbies and different things. And so to then even have that like quote unquote normal transition for that age of high school, students, to then
Mm-hmm.
also have that whole other level of what Reagan was going through and continues to go through of, you know, personality changes, not simply because of hormones or ages, but of surgeries and neurological pathways and all of that, like that brings into it's a whole other level of kind of starting over. That's then on top of, like you said, then on top of she has the day to day of
Mm-hmm.
walking and combing your hair, and all these things that we take for granted, that's now something to relearn and on her plate and on your guys' plate also.
Yeah.
Yeah. How how was family and siblings during that time of just a transition for all of you guys in a different way?
Yeah, it was hard. I know when she was in rehab, when she was in New York and then in Rochester, she was away from her siblings. They were able to come to New York for a few days with my sister, but I'm sure they were feeling left out
Mm-hmm.
and worried, very
Mm-hmm.
worried.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because
her
for those of us who aren't around there, how close is Buffalo
so
to where she was in Rochester, New York?
so Buffalo to New York City is about an 8-hour difference by car.
Okay. Okay. So it's okay.
Buffalo to Rochester was about an hour, at most an hour and a half to get to her rehab from our
Okay.
house.
Okay. Okay.
But she was there. I was with her for the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a chunk of time when she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't with family and friends. And her sister and brother, Reagan is in the middle between her younger brother and her
Okay.
closest sister in age to her.
Okay.
Their older sister is 9 years older than the second. So there's a
Okay.
little bit of a space.
Okay.
But the three that were home are all 3 years apart. So they're close in age, and I know that really affected them.
And and how can it not? And that's just something that like I hear over and over again those similar struggles and trials and tribulations with other families. It's something that we our own family have struggled with and continue to have like ups and downs with just the journey as a whole of how it affects every family member, individually. And it's, again, I think it's an aspect of this journey that I don't think gets talked about a lot because it's so hard to talk about, is as a parent, like how you truly have to divide that time between the kiddo
Mhm.
who's diagnosed, the kiddo who's sick, whether it's surgeries or chemos or rehab, like all these different things. And then when there's other kiddos and when there's siblings involved, it's another level of just pain and grief that a
Mhm.
parent can kind of go through, of just, I don't know what else to do. There's not a there isn't a whole lot of options. You have to be there. But then it's just, I've described it as like there's days sometimes where it's like I feel like I'm failing everybody. Like, and then there's
Yes.
days that like we all rally like you do, as a family, and like you really hone in on like the small wins or the small positives or being present or the text message, and different things, because you have to
Mhm.
find those moments of gratitude, or those moments of like, oh, like, thank you for this moment. Like I like this, like this will make me happy for days, because if you don't, it can become a void really, really quickly.
Mhm.
What what would
Absolutely.
what would you say has been some of those surprises for you particularly, or even for your family, of just like those surprise, like joy moments amongst the hard, or those surprise like strength moments amongst the hard?
So the one that I keep going back to, um, Reagan had her surgery November of 22
Okay.
and was released from rehab just before Christmas. I want to say it was about the 22nd of December.
Okay. Okay.
And she came home in a wheelchair with crutches and a walker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You name it, we had it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she was determined. She was
Mm-hmm.
determined to move to she mainly she wanted to get back to dancing,
Mm-hmm.
but she knew that she needed to walk before she could dance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So she started doing intensive rehab and physical therapy. And it was, I believe, the middle of January. And we decided to take a trip back to New York because Reagan is a huge Broadway fan.
Mm-hmm. I know that
And
about her. Yep. She has a love for
right,
Hamilton, for
she
like
sure
we do.
does.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
And she will tell you, I spent all this time in New York and I didn't even get to see Broadway when she was there for her surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
All I saw was the hospital window.
Mm-hmm.
And so we took a trip down, and this girl is one of the strongest people because she walked. She walked New York
Okay.
City. I mean,
Okay.
I almost felt, I don't want to say guilty, but I mean, it's a lot of walking.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
I remember looking at my watch, and we did stop and she rested, but
Mm-hmm.
she walked 3 miles.
Oh my
And this
gosh.
is just a few
That's just in
weeks,
January. Yeah. Yeah.
yep, 2 months after
Wow.
surgery. And it was myself and my husband and
Okay.
her two sisters that went with us.
Mm-hmm.
And she got to see one of her favorite musicals. and she got to see New York and just the joy on her face.
Mhm.
I have a picture of her because we waited outside the stage door for the artists and actors to come out, and her grin is just ear to ear.
Oh my
You know,
gosh, I love
she's
it.
like missing, her hair is still growing in because
Mhm.
she had to have it shaved for surgery, and
Mhm.
it's January in New York and it was
Mhm.
cold, but she just couldn't have been happier. And
Mhm.
knowing that she is she is a role model for me because
Mhm.
I often look at her and go, I don't know if I could do that.
Oh,
I don't know if
I
I
do the
could have
same
done
with
that.
Sam. Yeah, I do the same 100%. I'm like, or at least I wouldn't have done it as good. There would have been a lot
Yes.
more of complaining and and whining if it were
Yep.
me, for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. What's her relationship like with her siblings now?
Um, Pretty good. Pretty good. They're all growing up and they're getting to
Mhm.
be, at that same age. I mean, she and her brother bicker a bit, but
Oh, sure.
I'm I'm happy to see it. It
Mhm.
drives me crazy, but I'm
Yep.
happy to see it because there was a point where we weren't sure.
Mhm.
You
Oh,
know,
nope.
you you
And
you don't know.
yeah, I have had that moment too, where it was a couple of years ago, because similar, where when Sammy was first diagnosed, we were also in the height of COVID, so nobody was allowed at the hospital. So it
Oh,
was a very and actually Sam, or excuse me, Lauren and Landon, Sam's two older siblings, never actually saw him in the hospital, which there at some points that's like I think a saving grace for a little
hmm
bit for them. But and so it was a chunk of time when they didn't see each other, either, because then we did go to Memphis, and then we were there, and so nobody was able to come, there either, with the timeline that we were at. But I remember, then you come home, and I'm sure like you guys experienced this too a little bit. There's a little bit of like the honeymoon period of like no one's really arguing, nobody dare, and different things and stuff like that, which like is good. But then you're also like, okay, come on, and I remember it probably wasn't the first argument that, that they got into, or something, but it was definitely an argument where I remember sitting there, and my husband was going to go and like, and try and be like, kind of like intervene. I was like, no, like, this is actually music to my ears of like,
hmm
they're just, bickering over something, or like probably what to watch on TV, or whatever. And I was like, I just remember being like, okay, like this is normalcy. Like this is what at one point, like, I don't think I was ever praying for them to come back and argue, but like I was praying just to like, cause you're right. I mean, you, we didn't know, and
Yep.
it was so, that transition was so different and continues to transition, and different things, but it's like, it's kind of like we had said, like you have to find like those small wins, or at least the humor in it of like, just let
Yes.
them argue. Let's see what happens,
Yeah.
and different things. And I think that is just, at least for us, was such a strong part of how we processed, and how we coped with it, for sure.
hmm
What do you think, or I guess what's something that in this journey that you feel like people don't see about being a parent in this fight?
Um, I don't think they realize how hard it is.
Mhm.
And you think that you do,
Mhm.
but it's hard.
Mhm.
It's lonely. Not everyone is there for you.
Mhm.
People you think would be there for you are not.
Mhm.
Um, I'm blessed to have a strong partner in my husband.
Mhm.
He's always there. I'm blessed to have a strong partner in my ex-husband
Mhm.
who's always there, but
Mhm.
it definitely changes family relationships, change the way that I see people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy how it affects how one thing can have so many ripple effects to it.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes, yes. Exclamation point, exclamation point. Yes. And
Yeah,
it's something that it truly is a journey. There's good days and there's bad days, and
yeah,
we think we kind of are getting to understand like this part of the journey, and then something happens, or and not even anything negative, but like something happens that kind of like shifts it, and you're like, okay, I don't know, I think it was a couple of months ago where you and I were talking about something that like Sam was kind of going through, and I was like,
mm,
I don't know if this is age, I don't know if this is residual, I don't know,
yes,
and I remember one of the things that you shared with me that helped me so much is you would reply back of like, there may be a portion that you'll never know, and you just find and you just find a way to kind of pivot with it. And I'm like, okay, you're right, because again, like I
mhm,
went into like, I want to understand like, is this 14-year-old boy, I want to understand if it this is that and different things, and and I remember like you saying that, going like, okay, so what would that look like if we don't know? Like let's try and find out, but like what would that look like? And what is
mhm,
that going to change moving forward? Is it going to change anything of how we take a look at it or how we react to it? And that was super, super helpful. And it is. It's just it's a journey, and yeah. Yeah. What what does a good day look for you guys look like for you guys now?
so we've been having a lot more good days than bad. um Reagan is graduating
Mm-hmm.
from high school
Mm-hmm. And that's
and
not a
was
little moment.
accepted.
That's a big moment.
That is huge.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge.
Mm-hmm.
She challenged herself with a lot of advanced classes. She
Wow.
took she took dance all through high school
Okay.
and pushed herself as much as she could.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. Good
she
go,
was
girl. Oh my gosh. Okay.
accepted to a whole bunch. I think the last count was about 14 or 15 schools.
Oh my gosh. Go Reagan.
She's
Okay.
Yeah, she's accepted. She's committed to a local liberal arts college.
Okay.
Um, I'm not ready to send her away
Yeah.
yet. Um, she does still follow up with our neuro-onc clinic in
Okay.
the area twice a year, so not
Okay.
ready to send her too far. She would love to go far away, but
Mm-hmm. That's such a
mom is not
hard,
ready.
I know that's such a hard step too, of knowing like
Yes.
what to do, yeah. So local, so where, how far, how, like a couple hours away or closer or what?
Um, Closer. So she's
Okay.
going to be living there, but
Okay.
it's only about 25 miles away.
Okay.
It's up in Niagara Falls,
Okay. Okay.
and it's a gorgeous campus, and it's got
I can
all the
imagine.
things
Yeah.
she wants to do.
Okay.
So we're super excited for her. She's actually
Yes.
there now.
Really? Oh yeah, because you said she was going
Yep.
on a tour, or is that she was going back for a second tour?
Yep. She's going
Okay.
back to shadow some students and meet the people, all the people.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy for her. Yes.
I'm so happy.
Yes, yeah. And truly a good a good step where she's living there. She kind of has that
Yep.
age appropriate like autonomy, but also like within the kind of protection of you're not super far away.
Exactly.
Yeah. So does she
Exactly.
know her roommate, or will they get to know, or how? I know each school is a little bit different with the process, but like what will that look like
Hmm.
for the school?
I hope that she does.
Okay.
She doesn't yet,
Okay.
but we're excited about. all of that.
Oh, I'm so excited for her. That's wonderful. That is wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. So that God, yeah, that is just such a big moment. That is such a huge
Mhm.
accomplishment. That wow. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
That is amazing. That is amazing. What what does tell me a little bit about what your and Reagan's relationship looks like now. I mean, your whole family, but you and her, you know, specifically have spent so much close, intimate, hard, intense times together
Mhm.
that can be so powerful and so important. And then I think also like a little bit hard to navigate when it shifts as you know
Mhm.
as it should, even with kids getting older, you know, like so
Yeah.
what does that look like now for you guys?
Now, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but to me, it's a normal mother-daughter relationship.
Okay.
We drive each other crazy,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we argue,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I love it
Yep. Yep. Yep.
because I don't wanna think of alternatives,
Mhm.
so I remember when she was, um, in the hospital just praying,
Mhm.
we barter and we pray and
Mhm.
please let her be okay. Please
Mhm.
just let her be okay. I
Mhm.
I won't ever take her arguing for granted. Please let her be okay.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
she does. Oh, but I'm grateful for it.
Mhm.
Very grateful for it.
Mhm. Yep. Nope. 100%. 100%. And that's
Mhm.
yeah, that's just so that's so important. That's so important. What's something that you you wish people understood about pediatric brain cancer that maybe you feel like they don't?
Um, I definitely feel there needs to be more information because
Mhm.
all I did when I first found out about it was Google, and Google is not your friend.
No,
In this case,
only if
is
you want to be
not your friend.
terrified is Google your friend.
Terrified,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
and expecting the worst.
Mhm.
You don't know. Sammy and Reagan may have had the same tumor, but they affected them in two very different ways.
Absolutely. Mhm.
And no two tumors are the same.
Mhm.
Um, you never know what yours is going to look like
Mhm.
or what your outcome is going to be.
Mhm.
Um, I so I actually was contacted by you. I was also contacted by a local mom whose
Mhm.
daughter had a um, similar tumor, and for me, those personal connections
Mhm.
really made such a huge difference because
Mhm.
it made me feel like you know what I'm going through.
Mhm.
I'm not alone. I
Mhm.
feel like I'm crazy right now, but you're
Mhm.
letting me know that I'm not.
Right.
And in my mind, there needs to be more of that.
Agreed. Agreed. And that, and yes, and at Sammy Strong, we talk a lot about showing up for families and showing up to for other kids and other connections because nobody should have to feel like they're fighting alone. And it sounds
Mhm.
like support for you means like showing up and feeling validated of like I'm not by myself and I don't have to explain it to you or I don't have to rationalize or like at times I'd feel like, well, I have to explain why I'm feeling like this when for better or for worse, like if I talked with another brain cancer, you know, parent, they'd be like, oh yeah, no, I feel that all the time. And like when it have to like not justify by any means, but like try and get them to understand when they don't, and I'm grateful that they don't for them. It just can also be hard when you're on the other side of the coin. And so it sounds like
Mm-hmm.
that's a huge level of support for you. And I wanted to bring up, because another aspect of why I just think Reagan is incredible is Reagan also put together a nonprofit to be able to help support other kids. Will you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Reagan started Reagan's Rainbows of Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And what she does is raise money, and she purchases items for comfort bags for kids
Mm-hmm.
in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
She was given something similar when she was in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and it really lifted her spirits. And so each bag contains a blanket, a squishmallow,
Mm-hmm.
room decorations,
Mm-hmm.
activities, and we drop them off at our local children's hospital.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to go with um, anyone, basically anyone who Child Life thinks needs a pick
Mm-hmm.
me up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we've done, oh my goodness, I don't know how many hundreds of bags that we've dropped
Oh,
off so far,
so incredible. Yeah.
but it's it helps her to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was her idea when she
Mm-hmm.
was in the hospital. She said, when I get better, I want to give back and I want to
She's
do this for
incredible.
other
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So
she is incredible. She is incredible. Well,
thank you.
before we wrap up, I just want to say that your story, Reagan's story, it matters, and it's powerful, and your fight matters, and your family matters, and the way that you guys have walked and continue to walk through this diagnosis is truly strong together. And that's a component of Sammy Strong as well. And so I just wanted to say that I've known you for several years, and you guys are just both you and Reagan are very, very inspiring, and you guys are both just huge components of helping other families as well. And I love you guys.
Thank you.
So on deck, we like to kind of end with something a little bit lighter. We're
Mhm.
definitely talking about some pretty intense things, and so we kind of like to end with like a fun question. So the question I have for you is, if you could have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life, so like candy or food or snacks or no consequences, whatever, what would you be picking?
I would want an unlimited number of round trip airfare tickets.
Oh,
So I
that's
could
such
just,
a good one. Yeah.
right, just travel all over the place. I enjoy
Yep.
traveling,
It's good for the soul.
and
Yeah.
it really is.
It really is. Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
And
that's such a
chocolate.
good
Chocolate
one.
was my second.
We'll give you two. We'll give you
Yum.
two. Well,
Thank you.
good. Well, Kara, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for sharing even a snapshot of your family's story, and letting us kind of step into your guys' journey. And to anybody listening, if you would like to learn a little bit more about the Sammy Strong Foundation and our upcoming events, please check out our website at gosammystrong.com. We'd love it if you would follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram at Go Sammy Strong. And you can find this and our other episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and coming soon to both Apple and iHeartRadio. And I'm so excited to share again that this episode of On Deck was brought to you by Boys Town National Research Hospital. It's backed by 40 years of life-changing experience. Boys Town Hospital and medical clinics provide the latest, the most innovative care to their patients. Please go ahead and visit boystownhospital.org to learn more about their special services, including their pediatric neuroscience program. Kara, thank you, and thank you to everyone. We'll see you next time on Sammy Strong On Deck Warrior Stories. And remember, that you are not alone and to keep fighting because hope's on deck.